Hey guys, so it's day one. So we'll be leaving in a bit and we'll be leaving for Kobe. That was me back in 2019 on my graduation trip. So during my undergrad life, 4 years I struggled a lot. I had to study, do activities, and also a ton of part time job. So I never had the time or the money to go on a trip. So it was my first time traveling around Japan. But while I was traveling, one thing was in the back of my mind, that was my first job. I still hadn't landed my first job, and it was almost a few weeks till my graduation. So I was kind of lost. I didn't know what to do. And eventually I got a job, and a job that I didn't think I would enjoy, and actually I didn't enjoy and ended up leaving the job. But I wish I had this video to watch at that time, because your first job is very important and it has a huge impact on your life in the long run. And I wanted to share 3 things that I wish I knew before I started my first job. And I'm making this video right now because a lot of you are graduating in Japan in March. A big chunk of students will graduate and start their new jobs in April. So I hope this video will help you out in your journey in your corporate life. The first thing I wish I knew is that your first job is kind of like a reset. It doesn't matter what you have done in your university life. You might have been the most popular person, you might have done a lot of activities, you might have earned a lot of respect, made a lot of friends, and you might be high in confidence. But it all goes away when you join your first job. It's a reset. Like, no one cares what you have done in university, what activities you did, how cool you were, how much you did in the university, how was your grades, and etc. At the end of the day, that's all behind you. Your first job is all new, all it's time for you to reset, and it's time for you to start fresh. So it's really hard for you to let that go and start afresh, but that's very important. When I first joined the job in my first week, I was kind of still in that student mindset. I was still thinking about going from lecture to lecture, studying, but then I realized when I'm in a 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 job, so I need to think about the job, have a routine, and just start afresh. Like, none of my coworkers cared about where I studied from, what I did. It was all about the day to day, what I could do on the job. So it's hard to adjust at the beginning, but make sure you have that mindset at the beginning, is that it's a reset, start afresh, and start free at the beginning of your first job. The second thing that I wish I knew, which is kind of related to the first one, is the amount of time that it takes to accept that you're not a student anymore. There's a lot of reset that you need to do, as I said in the beginning, but it also takes a lot of time just to accept the new routine, the new lifestyle, and the new step in your life that you will be embarking on. When I first joined the job, I just came out of university. I was used to that routine, but then in the job, it's completely different. The routine, 9 to 5, every single day, 5 days a week, going to work, coming back, and it's a whole different routine compared to your student life, especially nowadays with being able to study from home or studying online. You have a lot of flexibility. But when you join your first job, especially the first few months, you're actually probably going to the office 5 days a week. And that routine change is one of the things that you need to get used to. But also, the other thing is the mindset shift. Like, as a student, you're very carefree. You have a lot of things that you don't need to care about. You just go study, you have a safety net. Probably your parents are taking care of the money if you are privileged enough, or you have the money to take care by yourself. But then you don't have to think about a lot of other things that come your way when you get into your first job. So a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things will hit you at the beginning of the first job. So it's very important to accept and take the time. You necessarily don't need to take it slow. It's going to hit you really quickly, but take your time, understand what's important for you, and accept that, hey, student life I enjoyed a lot of things happened, but now it's a different stage of your life. Take your time to understand what's important for you, and take one day at a time, but really take that time to accept and move forward to this new step in your career. The third and most important thing that I think most people need to know is that your first job might not always be the right job. That's a reality. Like, the first job isn't the right job for most of the people. If you're lucky, you find the right job and you're doing that for the rest of your life. But for most people, the first career you go into might not be the right one. That also happened with me. I'm on my third job. The first job I did, as I mentioned, I was at Japanese cram school, after school program. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know my strengths. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my career. And I was pretty lost. I just knew that I need money to survive. I just do this job and then I'll figure it out. And it took me 1.5 years to change that job, find another job, and then change that job to realize that wasn't the right job. So it's going to take you some time, but one thing you need to accept, that if it's not the right job, it's not your fault. As a new grad, sometimes you join the first job and maybe you're not seeing the right success, and you might blame yourself that you're not good enough. But the reality is, it's not the case. The first job is always difficult. Figuring out what you want to do is difficult. So take your time. If the first job isn't working out, understand what you're lacking, or understand what that career was going to give you, and then find the right fit for the next one, and the next one might not be the right one either. It's all a discovery. It's going to take some time for you and everyone else. So take that time, understand your strengths, understand what you enjoy doing, and then find the right fit. So taking the time is highly important, but don't blame yourself. The first job may not be the right job, and it's all right. You can find the next job and move on and find a career that best suits you. So those were the 3 things that I wish I knew when I started my first job. I think it's an exciting time for you guys who are graduating, starting the first job, but it's also a time for you to reflect on your student life and move on to the new step of your life. It's not going to be easy, but it's also going to be fun and exciting. So take that time and embark on this new journey with lots of hopes and dreams, and hopefully you find the right job. If the first job is the right job, that's great, but if it's not, it's all right. You can move on and find the next career. But if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to help out. I love mentoring people and helping them through their career journey. That's what I'm trying to dive in towards with this YouTube channel, hopefully. So if you have any questions about your career and the first job or whatever is in your mind, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you hopefully in the next video.